So in this video, we'll be going over the basics of trigonometry and sine, cosine, and tan. So let's start with the right triangle. And we have a 90 degrees angle over here, and let's call this angle X. So now you need to know the three sides of the triangle, which are opposite to the angle X is the side called opposite. The side adjacent to the angle X, adjacent meaning that is next to it, is the adjacent side, and this is the hypotenuse, which is across opposite to the 90 degrees angle. And you must have heard of SOH CAH TOA. So what this basically is, that sine is opposite, so let me write it, angle is opposite, O is opposite over hypotenuse, and cosine X is always gonna be adjacent side over hypotenuse, and tan is gonna be is gonna be opposite over adjacent side. This is the general rule of trigonometry for a 90 degrees triangle. Now there are two extra functions which are cosecant, which is actually just 1 over sine x, which is gonna be just flipping this, so it will be hypotenuse over opposite, and secant is equal to 1 over cosine x, which is the opposite of this here, which is going to be hypotenuse over adjacent. Now let's move on to some examples which will make this way more clear. So in this question, we are given to find the value of x here of the angle, and we're given that the adjacent side is 3 and the side opposite to x is 4. So first thing that we can do is we can find the length of the hypotenuse by using the Pythagoras theorem, which is that if, let's say, we are given it has to be a right angle triangle. We are given a, b, and c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So here we can do the same thing. So c squared is going to be 9, 3 squared plus 4 squared, and c squared is equal to 9 plus 16, which is 25, and c is going to be 5. So now we know that this is 5, and now we can use any of the trigonometry functions to find x now. So let's do that. Let's use sine here. So sine of x is going to be opposite, which is 4 over hypotenuse, which is 5. And to solve for x here, we can bring sine over to the other side and make it inverse. So it's going to be x is equal to sine inverse of 4 over 5. And you can solve this on the calculator now, and you will get x to be 53.13 degrees. And one thing that you need to make sure is that your calculator should be in degrees instead of radians, because radians will give you a completely different answer. We can try solving with cosine now. So as we know, cosine x is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. So you need to memorize these three formulas, of course, sine, cosine, and tan. You can do it by simple SOH CAH TOA. So always just memorize this one line. Yeah, so this is the three words SOH CAH TOA, and once you know this, then you know the functions, and you can just plug in the values and solve for x. So here now is going to be adjacent side is 3 over 5, so cosine x equal to 3 over 5, and then you can bring cosine to the other side, so x is going to be cosine inverse of 3 over 5, which is the same answer, 53.13. Let's move on to a more difficult example. So in this example, we are given that the angle here is 38 degrees, and we are given that the side of adjacent is 42, and we are supposed to find x here. So it always helps to write it again, and you can see that we are given the opposite side here and the adjacent. So which of the functions include both of them, which is going to be tan. So here we can see that we can use tan here, so tan 38 degrees is equal to opposite, which is x, over adjacent, which is 42. And now you can just shift solve, and just to simplify this, it's going to be bring 42 to the other side. 42 tan 38 degrees is equal to x, and we can just do this on the calculator now, and we'll get the answer of 32.8. So in this example, we are to find the value of x here, and we are given that the angle is 32 degrees and the opposite side is 12. So which of the functions here include the opposite side and the hypotenuse, which is going to be sine here. So sine of 32 degrees is equal to opposite, which is 12 over x, and you can just do shift solve, and you will get the value for x to be 22.64. And there is a shortcut on the calculator where you can just type the equation, and you can do shift solve, which I'll be showing on a short video, because it simplifies life a lot and you don't need to do any of the calculations at all. So I'll make a short video for that for you guys. So in our last example here, we are to find the value of the x angle here, which we are given the opposite side and the adjacent side. So again, let's go back to the three formulas here. SOH CAH TOA. Which of the formulas include opposite and adjacent, which is going to be tan. So tan of this angle is equal to opposite, which is 5 over 4 adjacent. And you just solve for x here, and you will get the value of 51.34. And don't forget the unit here, which is degrees. So I hope you enjoyed this video and understood it. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer. And thanks for watching. And yeah, I will be making the short video on how to quickly solve on the calculator without doing any calculations.